Shiny bodies, four wheels, and a whole bunch of windows. Yep, we're talking about the revolutionary invention of cars. For some reason, these vehicles aren't appreciated by animals at all, especially bulls who just want to rip them apart. Then there are monkeys who go insane at the sight of these wondrous machines. Weirdly enough, it's not just cars. Geese and ducks absolutely loathe water cars, boats in other words, too. So buckle up for 40 times animals took revenge on cars. But first, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you don't want this baboon hijacking your car. Dogs ripped off a car bumper. What do you think happens when man's best friend goes against man himself? They team up with their own kind and take revenge, of course. The person who owns this car didn't think of it much when he hit one of the dogs in the neighborhood earlier. Bull destroys 4x4. Only daredevils try to mess with bulls, especially ones that have this much strength. This race in Spain is a place for adrenaline chasers to gather up and have some fun. However, the black Jeep seems like it didn't want to participate. Unfortunately, the bull was too angry to care about who was part of the race and who wasn't. It attacked the Jeep head-on and left all its frustrations on the front tire, as well as on the washer bottle. Elephant destroys car. Elephants don't like to attack humans much since they're very emotionally intelligent beings. But when they're frustrated, things can get ugly. This elephant in Thailand had lost its way, and the only way he could take out its anger was by completely crushing a tourist's car while the tourist was inside. Even though he completely smashes the front of the car, the humans inside were still safe. Rhino attacks car. Rhinos aren't the calmest animals in the animal kingdom. Even the slightest nudge can set them off. The driver in this zebra-patterned car went up close to him and honked right in his face. What he forgot was that rhinos also have a horn, except they use it to kill their enemies. The power of a rhino is completely unmatched, and yet the guy still escaped. He must have been saying thanks to God all week. Lion attacks car. Going on a safari trip is fun, but without an instructor by your side, it's just asking for danger. These visitors thought a metal body would protect them from the wrath of a lion, and boy were they wrong. At first, the lion was merely curious, but as soon as it sensed fear, it started clawing at the car. In fact, if you look closely, it even breaks the side mirror. Hippo bites car. It's an incredible sight to see a whole pride of lions hunt, especially if its prey is as big as a hippo. Usually, the hunts are swift and sleek, but this one was particularly on the slow side. One of the lions had its teeth sunk into the rhino's back for an unusually long time, and it didn't even bother him. He just wanted to be alone, which just made him kick away the car and walk away, with the lion still attached to it, of course. Lion makes car explode. While animals don't understand the complicated mechanics of something like a vehicle, many humans don't either. But they also don't go around biting wheels. A family who was visiting Kruger to see some majestic beasts only got to see a curious lion bite a tire and then run away when it exploded and made a loud bang. Looks like that was an effective built-in defense. Elephant flips car. It's been long known that circuses aren't very ethical and have a history of animal abuse. When practices don't stop, it's only fair for the animals to go on a crazy rampage. This circus elephant had finally had enough of everything. The circus workers tried to get them back into their enclosures, but things went very, very sideways as the cars went up in the air. Dogs take revenge on license plate. If there's one thing we know about dogs, it's that they're loyal no matter what, especially when it comes to their own pack. The owner of this car thought it would be okay to kick a fellow pup and try to drive off, but these creatures are incredibly loyal to each other and knew exactly what to do to get back at the human. Horse destroys car. We managed to domesticate horses, but they are animals after all. This wild stallion was found running on the road without an owner, and when it came across a car, it immediately trampled on it without any hesitation. Usually when animals see a car, it's just another big predator to them, so they either get away from it or, well, do what the horse did. Elephant crushes car. Thailand is a country that promotes its diversity of animals. However, tourists still don't understand the rules. During a drive in the mountains, a tourist in her car encountered an elephant, but instead of driving off to avoid the animal, she was so shaken that she had no idea what to do. Unfortunately, this lack of quick thinking led to the elephant absolutely crushing her car to smithereens, all while she was inside. Somehow, she managed to make it out alive. Bears attack cars. Yellowstone is a great park to visit with your family, but only if you're good with animals. This curious bear literally climbed up a car with a whole family sitting inside. Unlike many other visitors, the family remained calm, and instead of hurting themselves or the bear, they gently pushed the bear off and drove off. If you go to a wildlife park, make sure to take a level-headed person with you. You can't all be screaming at an animal. Bison rams into minivan. Animals in parks just want to relax sometimes. You wouldn't like it if there were people in your house uninvited all the time, now would you? Well, this bison feels the same way. Seeing all these made it very stressed, and the only way it could show that was by hitting the car head-on. Once the bison in the front moves away, you can see how it damaged the car so much in just one blow. Elephant seal destroys car. Elephant seals aren't a sight you get to see on the road every day, unless you're in New Zealand, where apparently they hang out all the time. They're playful creatures, but they just don't know what things to play with. This very bored walrus had no revenge to take, it just needed a cure for its boredom. Considering its size, these cars probably looked like toys to it. Hippo destroys car. Most people assume that animals in parks are generally used to humans, but just like us, not all of them are extroverts, especially not this one. The driver was on his way back when he saw a hippo and decided to take a few pictures. The hippo was either camera shy or just wanted to get rid of this guy. Suddenly, the hippo started charging towards the car and hit the bonnet with all its might. Then it even tried to bite it. The human claimed he was thankful that he made it out alive, even if his car was absolutely wrecked. Hyena opens car. Hyenas usually get a bad rap, either because of lanking or because they just look evil. In this case, they're just gentle little beings. A baby hyena just wanted to see what this big metal box was about. He even managed to open the door, but decided not to scare the people inside and left quietly. How cute. This might not be revenge, but it's cute enough to be on our list. Buffalo smashes car. The way lions hunt and attack is very specific, and they're even brave enough to go after huge prey like buffaloes. Usually they bite from the back to tie down the victim, but this buffalo was not about to give up. It kept running and even bumped into a car with people included, but all it wanted to do was live a few more days. The poor animal was all over the place, bumping and smashing cars. Vultures destroy truck. Out of all avian species, vultures are clearly the bad guys, and to them a shiny black car is a big hot buffet. They're usually attracted to the shiny metal and the black rubber, thinking it's some sort of meal. Fortunately, there was no one in the car, otherwise he would have been pecked to death. The whole flock of birds was slowly ripping apart this stranger's car and he had no idea. A little heads up would have been nice. Giraffe attacks Jeep. Giraffes might seem like gentle giants, but even they have limits when it comes to safaris. Once they lose their patience, things get pretty bad. Ostrich chases and destroys. You can't outrun ostriches, even in a car. And the man's car was particularly enraging to this big bird. If the windows weren't strong enough, the man would have gotten a chunk out of his face angrily pecked away.
He's trying to peck the car. Oh, he's pecking the car.
Moose charges truck. People commit hit and runs all the time, but it looks like this trend has spread in the wild world too. A moose casually attacked a man's car, absolutely obliterating the back of the car, and walked away. The man who saw this whole thing went down and recorded it because no one would have believed him otherwise.
Better start back. I can't back up that fast, can I?
Oh shit.
Alligator fights truck. Gators are killing machines, and you cannot ever underestimate them. This man thought he could get rid of one with just his car, but boy was he wrong. The alligator tried to scare the man off, but when he realized that wouldn't work, he bit the bumper with one big bite. Chimpanzee smashes car window. When chimpanzees break free, all hell breaks loose. This gigantic animal was roaming around Kansas City when he found a police car, and for no particular reason, he decided to jump on the bonnet like he was in a bouncy castle. Baboon hijacks car. Baboons don't need a reason to take revenge. Being mischievous and naughty is in their blood, and this particular one was feeling extra evil. Not only did he attack this poor man's car, but he also hijacked it for a good while and even ate all his snacks. And before leaving, he even pooped inside. Goose attacks boat. This might not be a car, but it's a vehicle nonetheless. At first, this guy thought he made some new geese friends, but they were actually plotting against him. After swimming beside his boat for a while, they decided to get revenge for entering their territory. The goose simply attacked his head, and the man fell right into the water. Bison stampede smashes car window. Stampedes are hard to predict, and you never want to be involved in one. Unfortunately, this family got sucked amidst a bison stampede out of all. That too with a rental car. One of the bison stuck its giant horn into the car's window, not only scaring the poor family, but also shattering the glass. Kia bites cars. Kia are just fat, flightless parrots that never really had to deal with any predators. They might not know how to find it, but they're cunning creatures and have been known to steal snakes from humans. In this case, these two birds thought the car was just one giant snack to munch on. That's why they started to tear away the rubber parts and kept pecking at the metal too. So if you're in New Zealand, make sure to keep some extra chips for these fellas too. Peacock attacks car. Peacocks are birds that love their own colors and can't let anyone outshine them. And when this peacock saw the color of this car, he was very offended. In fact, it might have thought it was a rival animal and wanted to duel it right there. But the valet in the Chevy car had other cars to park, and so he drove away. Good move on his part. Elephant attacks vehicles. Recently, more and more elephants have been out and about exploring the world, and things don't always go as planned when they come across vehicles. After all, why would they want anything taller and bigger than them around? Instead of looking around peacefully, these animals have decided to take the harsh approach. The first vehicle this guy approached was empty, but the second one was definitely not. Stag attacks car. There's nothing wrong with cars, except there are humans inside, and they're not the smartest. These deer just wanted to cross the road and get to their home, but not one car would stop. They waited for a while, but one of them lost their patience and served a tight blow to a white car. Soon the other driver stopped for a while, and they had to learn their lesson the hard way. Angry ram rams into a car. It's clear to us that modern vehicles and animals do not mix. In fact, animals are starting to hate cars. This ram who lives in the forest was tired of having cars drive by it in its area. After all, they are quite territorial creatures. It didn't even think about attacking the car and went to kick the headlights right in. The driver was a smart enough guy to back away before the bonnet was turned into dust by a single angry ram. Ram attacks motorcyclist. Have you wondered where rams get their name from? Well, after seeing this clip, you'll understand. At first, the ram was mad at the motorcycle and tried to bring it down. After being successful at the first task, it felt smug and tried to attack the human on the bike too. Luckily, this man knew how to handle such a stubborn animal as the ram. Monkeys attack car. Motorcycle. Monkeys are practically worse than toddlers, because toddlers are at least scared of something. These monkeys are not. A whole bunch of them gathered around this poor driver's car, broke their side mirror, peed on it, and even drank from the water splashes. If there is anything you can expect from monkeys, it's this. Alright, comment below if you've ever had crazy animal revenge like this. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Forever Green, and we'll see you in the next one. Stray dogs trash car. A man in China kicked a stray dog out of his parking spot. He parked his car and went about his business. Little did he know that the dog was going to take revenge. The stray dog left and came back with a bunch of his friends. They all immediately helped their friend take revenge by trashing the man's car. I mean, what are friends for? The stray dogs chewed his fenders and wipers and scratched the body. They understood the assignment. Does your bestie have your back like this? Meanwhile, that man will never lay a finger on another dog in his remaining lifetime. Brown bear trashes car. A man and his friends were out hunting in the Siberian forest when he accidentally shot a brown bear in the thigh. The man didn't think much of it, only to wake up the following morning to find his car trashed. The only thing that could come to mind was the bear he injured the previous day. Talk of bearing a grudge, pun intended. The damage on the car was far from little. The car was literally in pieces. It was clear that the bear was very dedicated in delivering his revenge. The lights were broken, seats torn out, windscreen smashed, and body scratched. The rear bumper was also ripped off. There was a bear footprint close to the crime scene. What's even more interesting was that there were no other cars damaged. It is believed that the bear used his exceptional sense of smell to track down the man. Well, good luck with insurance. Deer attacks car. A deer is not the kind of animal you'd expect to be on a revenge mission. This particular one is different. The deer was smashed by a woman in her SUV. The deer was not going to overlook that. Instead, he dashed towards the car and violently attacked it and the woman. Skunk makes car stink. If you live in a rural or suburban area, you are likely going to encounter animals such as squirrels, rabbits, and raccoons every now and then. The tricky bit is trying not to run them over. This is because when it comes to small animals versus cars, the cars tend to win. But one small animal that tends to win regardless of the state it is left in is the skunk. For starters, these cute animals take their sweet time on the road, which means they'll eventually get run over. A man who ran over a skunk said the stinky, nauseating smell of the skunk sipped through the car. Not even driving fast with all the windows rolled down could get the smell off. It doesn't even matter whether the skunk was alive or dead, they still end up serving their revenge using their smell. Crocodile attacks sheriff's car. This crocodile was not too happy with the sheriff's car. It was feeling threatened, or it was just trying to make a kill. Either way, it got a good bite off the front bumper. I wonder what the sheriff did about that crocodile. Alright, comment below if you've ever had crazy animal revenge like this. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Forever Green, and we'll see you in the next one.